I did this thing. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I had to see what it was like inside. Good morning, everybody. So this is the, hello, everyone. My name is Abby Haggard, and this is my live video, and it is Thursday, the 14th of July, and today is my 66th video, so we're on Route 66 together, you and I. So my theme today is pausing, and as I was on my way to put the books I want to talk about today on the desk, I saw the Care Bear Monopoly game, and I said to myself, I wonder what it's like on the inside. Then I opened it, and I'm really glad. I have enough. I have the ones that you will all buy. This is so cute. Just hang on a second. I just have to before I start, I have to get myself up here and running on the other screen, because just in case somebody is with me and they're watching this craziness unfold. Hang on a second here. I can click. So this Care Bears Monopoly game, you see, is every bit as wonderful as I thought it would be for a lot of reasons. And so this is the middle, obviously. Obviously it's the middle, Abby. But here's how it's different. Here's how it's different. All around the sides, do you see it? All around the sides, it's bears. It's not Park Place. It's Friend Bear. You get to put up a house. You get to put up a house or a hotel on Wish Bear or Friend Bear or Tenderheart Bear. You get, and wait, I have to show you this. So you see them? You see them all around the sides? You see? And then the other thing that's really cool is you see in the middle where it says caring, there's a big pink cloud, it says caring. And then on the other side, how do I get to the other side? Okay, the other side you can see it's kind of a blue cloud and it says sharing. Okay, that's where those other cards go. You know, when you roll the dice and you land on the thing that says pick a card. Okay, so wait for it. It's just insane. So if you land on the, and it says pick a sharing card, there's two bears on one side. How do I do this? Do that, Abby. Okay. And one of them is Wish Bear. So there's a whole bunch of Wish Bear every time you land on a sharing card. And on the other side, it tells you something amazing you get to do. Approach each day with a blah, 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 advance to Cheer Bear. So it's got a little motivational thing, and then it tells you where to go. Okay, so that's that one. The other one, which is, so one was sharing, and this is caring. This is caring. And on the caring card, it's love a lot. I know I sound demented. I'm a grown woman and I'm excited that I'm a bear in a game, but I'm a bear in a game. Okay, and then the other thing that is just insanely cool is I'm not just one bear in a game, 3 bears in a game, because there are 3 properties that you get to build your dreams on. And one of them is Friend Bear. You get to build your dreams on Friend Bear. And if somebody else, you get to charge rent. You get to make a profit. So that's Friend Bear. And there's Wish Bear again. Okay. And then here's Love a Lot Bear. Is this awesome? And I'm sorry that it's nauseating, but the houses are pink. The houses are pink. Good morning, Lyle. How are you? I must sound demented this morning. The houses are pink. And then the little gubbins that you pick, you know, to play the game advance, they're all things from the show. Like there's the cloud car, and there's some sort of a trophy, and there's like they're really good, they're really solid. So I don't know what I was thinking, but they're all really beautifully drawn. and they're all, the artwork is stunning. If you just loved the idea of a Monopoly game that was transformed, that's one thing. You know that if it's a really good game and you've always enjoyed the game, it's going to be good quality. And it was. I wanted to make sure. I had to, first of all, I was curious, and the second was, I'm talking about pausing today. And so instead of the direction I was going, I thought, well, this is a good opportunity for me to, to walk the talk that I'm giving. So anyway, not only are the cards adorable, and not only is the game, it's a great game. It's the Monopoly game, but it's turned around, and of course there's money, but the money isn't Mr. Moneybags. The money is the money is one of the land of Carolot. Fat little stars. I'm gonna put it right up to the camera so that you can see it. Can you see all the happy fat little stars? You know what you can't be when you play this game? Negative. You cannot sit there all gloomy and play this game. It's a cure for negativity. How about that? So the reason I'm telling you this is it's not merely because I have taken leave of my senses. I'm going to do this quickly here, and I'm going to click so that Lyle actually can see that I saw him and I'm saying hello. The reason I wanted to show this to you, it's my bright idea, is that when you buy the game, I can sign them. I can sign the cards. I can sign the box. I can sign the board. I can sign my cards. You can have an autographed game. If you grew up and at a time when you were the right age and you just needed that kind of virtual hug, that virtual connection to something that made you feel that everything was going to be okay, this, I think, other than the plush toy that you can hug, this is amazing because you get to do something interactively. You get to be involved with other people, and if you get together with people who collected them, who care about them, it's just adorable. And there is nothing wrong at all in taking a moment. There is nothing wrong in saying to yourselves, you know what, I need a moment. I need to be me. I need to, sorry, I'm just clicking to make that thing go away. I want to be doing what I do. I wonder what happens if not your life, you can see real time. Okay, I'm going to do this. If I lose you, I'll be back. I want to be able to see me. Is this safe layout? I have a feeling I might disappear. If I disappear because I've done something ridiculous, no, it didn't happen. Okay. That just threw me off entirely. I'm so sorry. However, I'm not sorry that I had an opportunity to talk about something sweet and wonderful, because I don't know about you, but there are times when I'm just not quite myself. You wake up, you feel a little off, whether it's something you ate or you didn't sleep right or whatever. And it can really bother you. You know, it can really make you sort of sigh a lot, walk around with your tie in your zipper. And I don't like it when that happens. I prefer that my day is great. I prefer that my day is fun. And I'm just looking over at this other screen. It seems to have frozen. So if it has frozen, I'm really sorry. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to refresh that screen and see if I can fix it. See if something has gone off. Oh, there we go. Now let's try again. Ah.
That I had an opportunity to talk.
Okay. There we go. Good morning. All right. Good morning. Good morning, Amos. Good morning, Garen. Good morning, Lyle. All right. Now we seem to be cooking with gas. I'm sorry about that, guys. So, if you've just joined me for Garen, I had a brilliant idea this morning. And what I did was I opened the Care Bears Monopoly game. I'm going to do it again, just for the people who are just joining us. Now, the thing that's really, as I said before, the thing that's really kind of fun and interesting about this version of the old game that we all used to play is that instead of the real estate that we remember being able to buy, you get to be involved in purchasing your moment in time with a Care Bear. You get to put up houses and hotels on a Care Bear. Is that incredible? And when you go to, you know, there's a thing that says caring, like a little pink cloud over there, and then there's another one over here that's called sharing. Well, the thing that's amazing about that is that it's all the bears. It's all the bears. And when you land on the properties that you want to buy, my bears are there. There's Loveloft. There's Wish Bear. You could have a hotel on Friend Bear. You could stay at Friend Bear. How incredible is that? They've got the rates, the rent, and the mortgage and everything. You could buy and sell a bear. And what's incredible about that, aside from the fact that they're beautiful, what's incredible about that is when you buy the game, when you come and see me at Fanaticon on August 14th, Sunday, August 14th, I'm going to have these games unopened. I'll have the open one so you can check it out. However, when you buy the game, if you want to open it, I'll autograph my bears. Like, that's just the coolest thing. So when you're playing, you know, it's, oh my God, this is Abby and this is all smudged. Well, that... Anyway, oh yes, and the other thing, Jessie, are you there? I don't know if she's there. The hotels are pink. Ah! It's crazy. Okay, so you've been watching today. I got, you got paid. All right. All right. The fat smiling clouds. The one thing about these fat smiling clouds is that they're so happy. They're not worrying about their weight. They're not worrying that they can't fit into whatever that is. They're just happy. It's wonderful. Congratulations, by the way, Garen. It's always great to get paid. It's always great to be seen, heard, and valued. I think that's awesome. So here's the thing I wanted to talk about today. There's two things. One of them is about the times when we need to pause. I don't mean stop, and I don't mean give up, and I don't mean lose the focus or fall out of love with the passion. I don't mean any of that at all. I mean there are times when we need to pause in order to double check that we got everything. Double check that we took a breath recently. Double check that we are in fact on the right path. Because here's a thing that happens to me all the time. And I know it's not everybody. I know because when it happens to me, I see looks on other people's faces. And I realize that inadvertently I have yet again caused the utmost damned astonishment. The fact is that I am capable of suddenly riding madly off in all directions. I get excited about something and I'm off. Woof. because in my head, I can see everything. I can see this and this, and I can see how it connects, and oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I also rush madly off in all directions because I still have to work on, I'm a military brat, if I haven't mentioned it before a million times. And I still, when I'm not paying attention, I'm still doing the thing that was programmed a long time ago, which is don't dawdle. You have no idea how long we have here. And it's not a bad metaphor for life. However, it is an unhelpful metaphor when we skip steps and we don't give ourselves permission to take the time to do it right, to take the time to breathe, to take the time to enjoy the process while we're in it. Instead of saying, I'll celebrate when I get there. Okay, yeah, but it can take a long time to get there, no matter how good we are and how well everything fits together. It can take time. There can be reversals of fortune. We need to enjoy, we need to value the steps and the process. And the only way you can take more than one step is when you pause between. Take one step. You you can't just slide on that one foot unless you've learned how to do that dance. You eventually have to step on the other foot and give that foot a rest, and then step on and give each opposite foot a rest. That's what the pauses are for. They're the times to breathe, recalibrate, check our mirrors, make sure we're on track as we move forward. I am so capable of working on and on and on and on and on until I fall over. And here's what I do. I tell myself that I need to keep working until the job is done. And I forget that I can set the job in stages and put pauses in intentionally. Work till this, stop. Work till this, stop. Work till this. I forget to do that all the time. When I was writing comedy, I would be writing and writing and writing, and I would all of a sudden realize that it was dark out, and I would wonder when that happened. And then I'd look at the clock, and the last time I looked at the clock was 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was now 6:30. Well, that explains why I'm hungry, and that explains why what I'm writing isn't as good as what I was writing. I wouldn't put into the process the break times, the reset, the refuel, the recharge times, because I wanted to get it all done in one swell foop, and that's wrong. Some things, if you know it's fairly short, sure. Life, however, is not a sprint. Projects we undertake are not a mad dash. I was having this little chat conversation yesterday with Lance Moran, who is the showrunner, producer and showrunner of the Fanatic Con series. And he's a lovely guy. And we were talking about, the event is on Sunday, the 14th of August, and I hope you're coming. If you're in, around, or near the Ottawa area, Ottawa, Canada, come. It's on Coventry Road at the little convention center there, and it's very inexpensive to get in. And you can just, I'll put up the link for Fanaticon. I'll do that. You can get your tickets ahead of time. Anyway, the parking is huge. It's free. And I think it starts, for the VIPs, it starts at 10. And it's a one-day event. It goes from 11 until 5. And there's a restaurant right there, right in the hotel. And so it's convenient. It's Coventry Road, across the highway, across the Queensway from the train. So it's an easy get. Parking isn't a problem. It's inexpensive, and you can come and see me. And if you're not in Ottawa and you have no idea what I'm talking about, you'll check the Fanaticon thing and you can look at the map. But if you're near, if it's like an hour's drive, what the heck? What else were you doing, right? Come and see me. So anyway, Lance and I were talking, and I said, so I'm going to come early. I'm going to come the night before, and so I can check into the hotel and have dinner, because it's a very early morning. I have to load in time, set up, make the booth all fabulous, and then be ready for when the doors open. and John Stalker is coming in from Toronto. He's fabulous voice actor. We did Teddy Ruxpin together, and he's coming Saturday. And so it's going to be like a weekend. We're there, and so I'm saying, come join us. If you can't, do the dinner, have a drink. Have anything you want, or just stop by and say hi, and see us on the Sunday. Anyway, we were talking, and Lance said, "Oh God, I'd love to join you. I am going to be a little busy." So I replied, says the man to the only other micromanager in the conversation. And then we were comparing notes about the dumbest thing we ever did. And it's hard to just focus on the dumbest thing you ever did that was ridiculously too much, and you should have stopped. My my winner so far, and I really hope it is the winner because I really don't want to do it again. I was invited to help at a golf expo. That's not. Dave Khalil said, "Why are you here at a golf expo?" One of these things is not like the others. The only thing crazier than you being at a golf expo is finding you in a band. What are you doing here? And I said, I'm a volunteer. I'm helping out. I'm fluffing my hair and getting people to sign up. But the night before, when I had arrived, the organizer was tearing out his hair because his core of volunteers hadn't shown up. And his plan, his idea for the event was this massive golf putting thing. You got chances to see if you could sink a putt, and if you did, you won something. It's golf. I don't know how it worked. Anyway, he had created the idea. It was huge. It was a triple booth. It was I think 60 by 60, which is huge. I mean, at Fanaticon, my booth is 6 feet by 8 feet. This was 60 feet by 60 feet, and he picked something that big because he wanted to do 4 putting lanes so that there could be 4 people putting simultaneously. And he had the AstroTurf and everything. And then he said to me with this mad smile and look in his eye, I had this great idea. LED lights dividing the lanes. And I said, oh, that's a cool idea. He said, yeah. So there's like, one on the outsides, and then I said, yeah. And he said, and I'm gonna tack them down with green tape. And I said, right. And I said, what are you tacking them down on? He said, it's artificial turf. I said, oh, okay, so it's that plastic stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my volunteers didn't show up. And I said, to do what? And he said, tape down the lights. Tape down the lights. 1 outside, that's 2, 3, 4, 5 times 60 feet. 60 feet. Green tape. And two sets of green tape to hold both sides of the LED lights down. So 10 lengths, 60 feet. On my hands and knees on AstroTurf. Yeah. And I didn't stop. Because if I stopped, it was only going to take longer. So I kept going. I reached him. I got there, I don't know, 5 o'clock. I think 5 o'clock we were allowed in, or 3 o'clock or something. Anyway, I got there at 5 o'clock. I stopped when I finished. And I finished at 2 o'clock in the morning. And by that, he said, I'll buy you dinner. Yeah. By that time, it was opened? Yeah, the drive-through. So we stopped at the drive-through nearest to my hotel and got whatever it was. And, we sat in the car together, and he said, I'm really sorry. And I said, no, you're not. I know the difference. I'm really sorry. The heels of my hands and my fingertips and my knees were buzzing from the constant. It wasn't a rub, it was the impress, right? and I, when I got out of the car, I hobbled out of the car to my car. I drove to the hotel, hobbled into the lobby, and checked in. And I just wanted to fall face down on the bed, but I knew I wouldn't be able to walk in the morning, so I had a hot shower, as hot as I could stand it. Took a couple of Advil. And when I woke up the next morning, everything was numb. Everything felt not quite there. My knees, everything felt numb. And I got there on time. You know, I had breakfast. I got there on time, and I walked in, and there's the organizer, and he said, "You look great." And I said, "Thank you. I have no idea how that's even humanly possible. I don't know what I was thinking." And he said, "I've never seen anybody work so hard, except him, but it's his event." And so I was saying to Lance, we are our own worst enemies. And as I was having that conversation with him, I thought, that is the point. That is the point. We can be our own worst enemies in two ways. Two ways. We can be reluctant to lean in. We can stall. We can distract ourselves by getting all caught up in something else that's going on over there. You know, we can watch endless videos. We can write righteous, angry posts about whatever it is that we find fault with on social media. We can horn in on conversations between strangers in stores. We can get all upset when we're driving. All that stuff is stalling. I am the queen of the stalling tactic. I used to stall so I didn't have to go to bed when I was a kid. I think I've told this story before. When it was bedtime, they would tell me to go to bed, and I would leave, but then I would come back, and I would do a dance routine, and I would do silly things, and I would have pratfalls, and I'd fall over the furniture, until I got my parents laughing so hard they couldn't even talk. Eventually, my dad would get hold of himself, and he would say, "That's hysterical. Quit stalling. Go to bed." And I'd wander off. I'd come in for any point. And I would usually go for 3 curtain calls, and then I would give up. So I understand stalling, believe me. And I even did it when we were moving. I would say I'd lost something, just so I didn't have to pack another box. And my dad would sit me down and say, "Here's the thing. We're moving with or without the box. We don't have a choice. You have a choice whether or not you pack the box." So I would pack the box. And that's the thing. Either we do everything we can to stall the start of the awesome thing that's all for us, or we get so caught up in wanting it to be done, we don't give ourselves permission to stop. We get caught up in the momentum of the rush, of the race. We end up, instead of leading it, we end up chasing the dream. And as my lovely friend Tyler Westerlund famously said, if you're chasing it, you're doing it wrong. So the idea of stepping outside the momentum and showing you the Care Bears Monopoly game was an intention to illustrate what I mean. The Care Bears Monopoly game looks like a hoot. I can hardly wait to play it. More importantly, I can hardly wait to be at Fanaticon on August 14th to show it to people who didn't see this video or did see this video and can't wait to see it in person, to have their hands on it. I can't wait for that conversation. Why? Because the conversation that I'm creating, that you and I are having, Even if you're not talking in a way that I can hear you, you're commenting. And it's giving me an opportunity to read your comments and understand and answer. So we are in this together. The conversation is the art of sharing the story. And that has been around longer than every other platform there is. On the caves where they've discovered all the markings, they're images, they're pictures. They depict what is happening. It's not words. It doesn't say 7 billion years ago we found water. It doesn't say that. Or we left the water, we found feet. It doesn't say that. It shows it in pictures. So the story, the conversation that I'm creating is a series of pictures linked together. And when you watch it on a video or you listen to it while you're doing something else, you're right there with me. You're laughing, you're listening, you're saying while you're driving, wish I could watch it. I'm not going to take my eyes off the road because whatever's up there is having a moment and I need to be part of that. But then you can stop later and you can watch the video. And then we are having the story together. We are having the moment together. We are connecting. We are communicating. We are a tribe. This is the future. The platform we use is the platform we use. But this, the conversation, how are you? Are you okay? That's good. How am I? I got a twinge in my toe. Really? What happened? Well, right after I walked into a wall. Oh, I see. That's what this is all about. And if we do more of this, if we have more conversations about how are you? I'm okay. How are you? Yeah. Could be better. Really? Want to go for a walk? Yes. The more we do that, the more we get back to the way we are meant to connect and communicate, the healthier we are. My very good friend, my very talented friend, Robert Boxtel, has had a project he created a couple of years ago when COVID began with his son, Henry. And what they did, because they love to hike, and for 2 or 3 years they were hiking all over Europe, he and his wife and their son, Henry. And when they came home, they said that they were going to plan another trip because they really love traveling the countryside the slow way. If you hike, you walk, you see it, you're up close and personal. You're having this conversation. You're taking the time it takes. You're pausing between the steps. You're not driving 11 million miles a minute to get to the next destination. The journey is the destination. And they had such a wonderful time. When COVID came along and we were under lockdown, they couldn't go for the walks. So he plotted a course. He and Henry set up a project. And they decided that they were going to use maps and Google Earth, and they were going to create a virtual hike across parts of Europe. So the first one they picked was Spain, and the eventual length of the trip was tens of thousands. I think it was actually 12,000, as I recall. Anyway, they completed it. 2.5 years it took them. They charted a course every day that they were going to start here and they were going to go there virtually, and they would plot it all out, then they would go for their hike and they would come back and they would look everything up on the internet to see where they'd been and have discussions about the places that they had marked. And he kept that dream alive. He kept that exercise plan, that connection, that living connection with Henry, constant and present and moving forward, no matter what got in his way, because he's a very resourceful, clever, talented, wonderful man. And he wanted to live this experience with his son the best way he could. So I know that no matter what gets in our way, we will always find a way to have our connections. It's who we are. So to that end, I wanted to talk to you about 2 books today. And the reason there are 2 books is that this was actually two friends of mine, CEOs of small companies, who had individually, separately, not knowing each other, lost their spouses to cancer. And they discovered something they had never imagined. And that was that when the journey through the diagnosis and the illness and the death and the grieving happened to them, it didn't just happen to them. It happened to CEO them as well. And they had never put anything in place to prepare themselves for that. They'd only said, I'll just do what I can. When they realized how devastating it was, they both went in search of a group to belong to where they would be understood without having to explain themselves. And it was actually put together by the hospice. And the curiosity, one of the synchronicities, was that both their spouses were in their final days at the same hospice, not at the same time. And when they went to this group meeting, and they would all sit around and talk about the ways they were feeling and the challenges they were having, these two people were the only ones who were also CEOs of their small businesses. So they had that in common. And so they would attend the group faithfully every week because it gave them an anchor point. It gave them a rudder because they had felt drifting and they'd lost their spark. They'd lost their passion for everything in that moment. And they hadn't been able to get it back, and it was scaring them. Because CEOs, small business owners, entrepreneurs, they're driven. They're people who do ride madly off in all directions. And it's terrifying. Well, good morning, Linda. Good morning, Linda. I'm sorry, excuse me, everybody. Linda, how wonderful to see you. Yay! Linda, we're such great friends. We haven't seen each other since COVID. Oh my goodness. We will have to talk. All right, let me get back to this. Oh my goodness. That's just so cool. Just so amazing. So back to this. These two wonderful people discovered that they both felt a need to write about how they felt. Not just to write about themselves and how they felt, but they wanted to write to honor the people they loved, they still loved. They wanted to get it out of their heads and onto the page in a way that they could feel that it was kept, it was saved, it was honored, it would never go away. And because they knew it was there, it was safe, and it would never go away, they had permission to step back in, to release the pause button, and take ownership again, start again, to be the people they'd always been, to be the CEOs, to feel the joy and the passion they'd always felt without the survivor's guilt, without the shame, that they could love something, anything, after losing their soulmates. And they talked about it and decided that what they needed to do was write books. So they did. Separately, they wrote books. This is her book. This is his book. And then, because they were in a rush, they were so excited. They were so excited that they had what they felt was the final draft. They rushed. They didn't pause. They didn't think. They didn't take a minute and step back. They found the first person they could who said, "Sure, I'll publish you." And they said, "Good, good, 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 good." And they did. And then, because the universe has a way. Separately, they told me they'd done it. And I said, really? Oh my God, I'd love to see them. I'd love to see the books. So I got together with them, and they showed me the books. And they were a train wreck. They were a disaster. The worst thing you could possibly imagine had happened. They were in such a hurry to have the finished book in their hands, to say, I did it, and to think about their loved one and say, this is for you, this is for us, I did it. But they didn't pause and verify that the people who said they could help them honor their loved one had the ability to deliver. There were spelling mistakes on pretty much every page. The layout was sloppy. Some of the pages, the ink had faded. The cover was wrong. There were errors everywhere. And I knew, as another crazy coincidence, I had known their spouses. Her husband was a meticulous artist. His wife was one of the scariest human beings I've ever known in the entire world. She was so meticulous that things that you present to the public have to be right, or you don't present them at all. And I loved them both in their own ways. And I sat these two people down and I said, this would be a travesty. You cannot launch this officially. You cannot do it. It is not worthy of the people you have written about. You need to pause. We've booked the launch. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Cancel. It's an artificial deadline we set. This is what we do when we get in that momentum, when we get caught up in the downhill rush. We have to do it, have to do it, have to do it, have to do it. Every time I've had a book launch, I was talking to Robert Boxall about this the other day, because he has this new book, and oh my God, it's a fabulous novel. Willow's Run, it's fabulous. He was going to an event, and he didn't realize how long it was going to take to receive the books, and they were late, and he was panicking because I have to have them. And I said, well, people can pre-order. They could pre-order and then they get them. He said, but I need to sign the books. And I said, so print a thing, a rack card, print something, sign their hand. It doesn't matter. We are the ones who are artificially setting the gotta do it, gotta have it deadline. We are the ones caught up in the downhill rush, chasing perfection. Well, we're not perfect. What the hell are we thinking? And Robert did what Robert does. He took care of it. He managed it. He found the other way to get it done to his satisfaction. Because Robert, like the two people honored and the two people writing, wants things great, wants things worthy of the people who receive them. Like Lance, like me, like you. We don't want to just fling something at the wall and say, there you go, that'll be $34.95. We want it wonderful. So it took me a year, almost a year, a full year, to sit them down, these two authors separately, and walk them through where the changes had to be made and get their okay. And re-interview them about certain things, because I would read something and I would think, I don't think that's what he meant to say or what she meant to say. So we stayed with their original book, except that we polished it. Instead of it being something they would feel terrible about later, because people would say, oh my God, there's a lot of spelling mistakes in your book. Did you know that? There weren't. It was lovely. And the pictures are lovely. And the interior is clean and crisp and lovely. Because these people are lovely. Because the people they honored We're forces to be reckoned with, and that is lovely. Most important of all, the readers, the people who say, I think this book speaks to me. I hope it does. I need to hear a message. Those people are lovely. They deserve the best we can give them. And the only way we can give our best, after we've practiced and practiced and then practiced and polished and stayed up half the night putting the tape on the floor, is rest, is hit the pause button. Ready? Is it showtime? Go. That is how it works. That's how it works. It's how it always works. When you watch the ocean, you don't live near the ocean? You don't live near a wave pool? Fine. Go on YouTube. Videos of an ocean. Watch it. Waves come in, poof, and then they go away. And then you know what happens immediately after that? Nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing. You just stand there. And then you know what? Here comes another wave. Poof. And then the wave goes away. You're following me, I hope. You know what happens next? Nothing! What's it doing? It's over there recharging. The water is over there building up steam again so it can be magnificent. I was going to say the sun goes down, the sun comes up, but it doesn't. We all have to breathe. We all have to inhale and exhale. Otherwise we fall over. So, what I've done today is a complete mishmash. It's all over the map. And the reason it's all over the map is because I never talk about pausing. Mostly because I so seldom do. And when I realized I could talk about pausing, I had so many examples to give you. I thought, well, this was clearly long overdue. So another thing happened when I woke up this morning. I was feeling anxious. And for those of you who have, I don't know if you're affected by the full moon, the magnetic pull and all that, certainly at a full moon, the tides are different. The tides are higher. Certainly at a full moon, people appear to be collectively a little wackier than normal. I sometimes find that I feel myself a little tense, and I have to remember to breathe. I have to remember, and I don't mean remember to breathe because I'll die. I mean take a slower breath and just stand there and say, it's tempting to spend my day wondering why I'm tense. That's an exercise in not looking after me. Looking after me is saying, I feel tense. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to make myself a really delicious cup of something. And then I'm going to have breakfast. I'm going to self-care myself until I'm calm and back to my normal level of me. That's the hard thing to remember to do. And I'm going to tell you why. So we have three brains. One here, and the one back here. The one back here is ancient. It's the cave brain. I've talked about this before. The important thing to remember while I'm telling you, you have to pay attention because the cave brain isn't listening. These brains are listening, but if the cave brain's in charge, it's an issue. The cave brain's job is to keep us alive. It's an old brain. It doesn't understand writing. It doesn't understand anything but the present tense, and it believes that we are still in that cave within that one trap. And all it wants to do is keep us on high alert, ready to flee, fight, freeze, hide, or comply to stay alive. It wants us to be alert and watching what's going on. It wants us to be involved so that we can stay safe. The more it does that, the less time we have to think in the real present. If we give our subconscious brain a signal, it will stop trying to trigger adrenaline. And I'm going to give you the signal. You might want to write it down. When you are feeling tense, there is only one thing the cave brain understands, and that is that its job in keeping us scared is done, for now. And that is this phrase: I am safe. I'm safe. Safe. Cave brain hears that. And it says, oh good. I can get back to making sure that the blood is flowing through your veins and that you're breathing and you're digesting your food. I am safe. And that's what we need to say when we pause. When we're in the middle of a downhill rush, when we've forgotten that we are the ones who chose the music, who chose the dance. It's ours. It's ours. We own this. We get all fired up. I'm safe. The cave brain understands safe. It understands. It doesn't understand, I got this and I really hope I blah blah. It doesn't understand language. It predates language. It doesn't understand words. If you say, I don't want this, all it knows is this. It goes get this. Gets you a box full of this. I want this, you get the box full of this. You don't want this, you get the box full of this. I am safe. We're safe. Give it a try. And then let me know. It'll be very interesting when I hear from you and you say, well, that worked. I know, right? And I didn't invent it. Somebody very clever told me. And I'll tell you about that another time. So, I do have one funny story to tell to close with, and I'm still long, but not as long as normal. And the funny story is this. When we did the Unsuitable book launch, 10 minutes before everybody was scheduled to arrive, Greg, my stage manager, and I learned two things. We had a coat rack for coats, and the launch was in November, I think, September, October. It was cool. We'd had frost. People were going to wear coats, so we had a coat rack. We didn't have a coat rack that we could use at the place because we were doing the book launch at the Lexus car dealership, the Bel Air Lexus car dealership. So no coat racks. We brought our own. But we didn't bring hangers. And we had arranged for beverages. We had sparkling water and we had wine, but somebody had forgotten to get the beer. So it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes before. I said, okay, we have time, we can do this. Come on. And I grabbed Greg and we leapt into my car and we drove madly off in all directions to a store that sold, miraculously, hangers and beer. How does that ever happen? We ran in and we were yelling at people, hangers, coat hangers, over there, beer, over there. And we got everything back in the car. Got back, we had like 2 minutes. He had to change into his tuxedo. I had to change into something lovely because I was wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. And we slammed off into the bathrooms. We got frantically changed and then came out looking effortlessly lovely. And while we're standing there waiting for the, trying to look, it's difficult to look nonchalant while you're still breathing hard. And one of my security people came over and said, I could have gone and gotten that for you. And I said, what? He said, I could have sent a minion to go do that. You didn't need to be the one. And I said, now you tell me? He said, do you know how fast I would have had to run to keep up with you to mention it? And I said, that's a true story. And how funny would that have looked? Running alongside the car. You don't have to be the one. And this is, I think, the most important thing to remember. It is our dance. It is our dance. We are choosing the music. We are choosing what to wear and who to dance with. We don't have to play every instrument in the band. We don't have to make the food and serve it. We don't have to build the building. We hold the dance in. We don't have to be all things to all people all the time. We are allowed to pause. True story. I would never lie to you. So that's our show for today, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, humans of all descriptions. That's the video for today. Leaning into this weekend, it is an invitation to plan your steps and plan the pauses between them. Learn from my mistakes. You don't need to make them. I got enough for all of us. Okay? So I hope you have a great weekend wherever you are. I hope that whatever you're dealing with, you give yourselves permission to take a breather and pause. Think of the Care Bears Monopoly game. Think of coming to Ottawa on the 14th of August. It would be wonderful to see you up close, in person. Wouldn't that be amazing? And I'll be back next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And I hope you'll join me then. In the meantime, be good to you. I so appreciate you. I so appreciate the time you're taking, the effort you're making to join me. I so appreciate, oh my goodness, I so appreciate the subscriptions that are happening on the YouTube channel. That is so sweet of you. That is so lovely of you, and I really appreciate it. Keep telling your friends. I appreciate you because we're in this together, and I want you to know that you matter. I'm doing my best to stop screaming and running downhill so that I can see you and hear you properly, the way you deserve. So reach out, comment, send me messages, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget to hug your loved ones.